EA Sports Supercross fans know how to have fun, and they've had a ball watching their racing heroes the past 2 weeks. As the 125 East class has truly become a 125 international class, last week it was 1, 2, 3 for an Australian, South African, and young Frenchman. In fact, the Aussie is dominating the American riders and everyone else as they move on to Atlanta. A sold-out Georgia Dome in Atlanta awaits the third round of the 125 East action. It's EA Sports Supercross presented by Speed Stick. Hello, everybody. I'm Arenacross along with former champion David Bailey. The 125 West had 4 different winners in 5 races, all U.S. citizens. The 125 East is a lot different. We had an Aussie on the top step, Chad Reed. He's dominated the first 2 rounds.
Well, Chad is unbelievable. He was fast on a 250, and he's proving all that skill and speed here on the 125. With that 254 stroke, he has an advantage with his skill, coupled with that bike. It's going to be tough to catch. Minneapolis last week, he came in with a groin pull, pulled away from the field. There was a battle back there behind him, Langston and his teammate Boniface. Boniface looked like he let Langston by. Langston is going to need all the help he can get to catch up to Reed.
Right after the lad from down under, we had Langston, a South African, and then Boniface, a Frenchman, on the podium.
Well, there's the pass, or I guess you could call that more of a gift on Boniface's part, but, you know, I think that KTM understands who's got the better chance of winning this championship.
Let's take a look now at the Suzuki storyline. Can the Americans step it up and prevent an all-green card podium? Can Reed continue to dominate? Is Steve Boniface for real? Let's check in with the third member of our broadcast crew, Davey Coates.
Ward, I can tell you one big reason why you haven't seen an American in the winner's circle yet, and that's because the best young American prospect, 16-year-old James Stewart, is sitting in the grandstands for the 125 West region. Now, although that Stewart hails from Florida, he was able to choose which region he wanted to ride in. Stewart chose the West. That leaves 28-year-old journeyman Mike Brown is the American with the best chances of winning this title. After all, Brown is our U.S. national motocross champion. If he's going to beat Reed, he's going to have to pick it up right now here at the Georgia Dome. Now let's go to David with our Speed Stick track map.
Right off the start, they get a difficult rhythm section all the way up to the first triple. Another rhythm section right here, and another one before they cross the starting line before the mechanics area. That's the sections I really expect to see a lot of passes here tonight, not just the whoops like we've seen in the past.
We've got a stacked starting lineup with the American Hope, second in points, Michael Brown, Steve Boniface from France, Schnell, a 2-time winner, Langston, he's a 1-time career winner in 125 action, John Dowd, who's 36 years old with 7 wins, Branden Jesseman, he's fast, Joshua Woods, he got his best performance in 8th in Minnesota last week. Jeff Gibson, he's going for another Ironman performance. He wants to qualify not just for this 125 race, but also for the 250s. The board is still up now. The 30-second board, when it goes sideways, we will have from 5 to 10 seconds, and the gate will drop. It is sideways. The revving starts. The top 9 qualify for the main event. Doesn't matter if you're a points champion or not. You've got to qualify.
You see everybody get pushed wide in that first corner. Ryan Clark didn't get the best start, but he's in good shape right here.
The guy who did get the start is Boniface, number 36. Mike Brown in second place, number 3.
See how wide that corner is. Clark trying to decide, let's see, what should I do? Should I take the inside or should I go wide? He decided to do a little bit of both to protect, keep from getting blocked past.
He must be inspired with that helmet cam. Number 54 of LCH Racing Yamaha has moved into 3rd. Let's check out the entire field. There's Brown, number 3. Brian Clark, 54, battling it out for 3rd, and Langston in 5th.
Not the kind of start he needed. 33, Schnell just now going by. He's had a tough time getting up to what I believe is his potential.
Michael Ivers in last place there, out of Ohio, as we go back to our leader, Mike Brown, trying to chase down Steve Boniface.
Boniface is operating on a whole new level of confidence now after that run last week up front. Probably wondering, man, why did I let my teammate by so easy? I could have stayed in second.
He's really getting his chance this year after being injured last year. coming off his very first podium, that third in Minnesota.
Ryan Clark getting sandwiched. He's still got Langston behind him. We're beating Langston right now. Here comes the triple.
Great shot. We're right on the bike of Ryan Clark.
I expect to see. There goes Langston. He went to the inside, tried to make a block pass. The hard part about...
Oh, just barely got by the bike. And Ryan Clark gets hung up.
He got free, but he got hung up there for a minute. It looked like...
Was it Curry?
Yeah, it looked like Paul Curry. Brown still not really able to do much with Boniface. He's not able to get close enough in these corners to put a block pass. They're coming into another wide open corner here. And Boniface could just take the fastest line.
There's Langston looking back.
He's actually looking over at the leaders going down the next straightaway right here. You see, he'll triple this, a little double, then they jump up onto that platform right there to go wide. That allows them to jump up onto that next big platform. A little double before the triple, and this sets it all up for the whoops. Langston goes to the inside.
Langston moving into 8, so he's in a good qualifying position, but he's certainly like a better choice of gait and move up that ladder.
Well, I think tonight we saw that from Ryan Clark's start. He went into the corner about mid-pack, but because he was on the inside, he came out in pretty good shape, and I think everyone's going to realize that and hog the inside.
Langston moves up the ladder. He's expected to be a force in this championship race, but he found himself in a catch-up mode that leaves no room for mistakes this year. A DNF at no points from the opening round. So that meant he was 25 points behind Chad Reed immediately. Here's the battle for first place. Mike Brown to the inside of the Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Number 3 going against Boniface on the KTM, number 36.
He was trying to create something there, but he ended up giving up some time. He couldn't jump the triple. But we'll see him catch right back up to Boniface. He's starting to get impatient now. He got comfortable with the first few laps. He's going, all right, that's what he's doing there. Okay, let's go to work. He's going to start applying the pressure, and that'll change the way Boniface races. He already had to go to the inside there to protect. So
Here comes Brown. Oh, and Boniface just gets by him. A crowd pleaser, that move.
Steve having to ride a lot more defensive now. That plays into the hands of Brown. See what they do in this corner here. Boniface cutting off that inside line as they approach the turn to take away any pass opportunities. See the rut starting to develop in all these jumps that make them even harder about halfway through the race. In that section right there, Brown just made a pass for the lead.
So Ryan Clark on the bubble as far as qualifying is concerned. If you don't make the top 9, you've got one more chance to make the 22-rider main event as the white flag comes out. That means final lap here in this 125 qualifier.
Nice move by Brown into the lead, a simple block pass. I thought he was going to do it in one of these couple of corners here. We'll stay with him and see where he made that pass, but now you can see him already opening up the gap a little bit. So he is faster than Boniface. This is where he set himself up for the pass moments ago. To that inside right there. See how Boniface is going wide? He can jump up on the plateau. It doesn't matter if you've got somebody that cuts you off before you get there. That's what Brown did.
Brown looking to get back in the championship hunt right now. Well, here comes Boniface. Wants the challenge, but Brown holding on. Look at those piston-like movements with those arms through the whoops.
That whoop section is the first one I've seen all year where the 125s couldn't eventually just stay on the tops the way they would on a 250. These guys are having to jump through there.
The checkers. Mike Brown winning his second qualifying heat in 3 races this year. Here comes Ryan Clark. Check him out on the rhythms.
See him up there listed in 10th. He's going to miss qualifying for this main event by 1 spot. We'll make that 2. There goes.
That's Greg Schnell, 33.
I keep getting
so
Schnell mixed up.
Clark goes to the LCQ where they'll pick 4 riders. The top 4 riders out of the LCQ will finish out the 22-rider gate for the 125s. The Honda results page now. Michael Brown, Boniface, Grant Langston, Jeff Gibson has qualified for the 125s. He has qualified for both the 125s and 250s the last 2 weeks. He is the Ironman of the year. Ryan Clark and the rest goes on to the LCQ. Well, what a way to start our racing here in Atlanta's Georgia Dome. We'll be right back.
I can't stand looking at that thing.
I think
Diarrhea, nausea, indigestion, and upset stomachs.
EA Sports Supercross is being brought to you by Suzuki, the reigning AMA 125 Eastern Region Supercross and Arenacross champion. By EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Oh, the fans here at the Georgia Dome love motorcycle racing since 1977, the Supercross here in Atlanta. Let's go to Davey.
Well, Mike, that was a fantastic ride. Great battle with Steve Boniface.
Yeah, it was good. You know, we both got good starts, and, you know, he was riding really good. And, you know, I think I could have made a few more passes on him, but, you know, it's hard to get around him out there. And, no, I felt good. I felt like I had a couple more laps in me really good, so that's good for the main event. And my Kawasaki Pro Circuit Bridgestone bike is really good.
I know you grew up on dirt like this in Tennessee. Can you beat Chad Reed tonight in the Georgia Dome?
I hope so. If I can get a good start with him, I think it'll be a good race. You know, last week I got held back a little bit and just started riding that base race, and I hope so. You know, I feel like I can go the speed and distance, so just get a good start with him.
So far, so good.
Thanks a lot, Davey.
And the lineup now for the second qualifying heat of our 125s. We look down at Brandon Butler from Gainesville, Florida. Let's check out their list. Reed, the points leader. Larry Ward, former 250 rider. Buddy Antunez, a 5-time Arenacross champion. Kelly Smith from out of Michigan. Riley Horton, he's trying for his third main event in 3 races. Harley, Hatzel, Summey, Keith Johnson of the Boston Johnsons from Pembroke, Massachusetts, as adverse to the Johnsons from New Mexico. As we take a look now at the 3-digit numbers trying to make the 22-rider gate here for the 125s in Atlanta, Georgia. Many riders have been successful here in Atlanta, breaking loose their Supercross careers. There's number 100, Buddy Antunez. Number 10, Larry Ward. 103, Chad Reed. It'll be an interesting start process here. Antunez, a very good starter in Arenacross. Larry Ward, a good Supercross starter his entire career. It's sideways. They're revving up. The top 9 qualify for the main event. Our second qualifier is underway. Chad Reed. He takes over the lead.
Johnny Marley going down to the first corner. Got tangled. Everyone's trying so hard to get that inside spot. Marley got left behind, and Reed once again is right where he wants to be.
Michael Blows is looking for his second main event qualification. He's in second place. He's out of Phoenix, Arizona on an American Suzuki. Oh! Was that close that went down as Chad Reed looks behind him to see the carnage.
Keith Johnson, I believe, going down, so now he gets the dice with Johnny Marley back in the pack. Looks like they're going to have to go through the last chance qualifier.
Check out and find your favorite rider now as they go through the loop section. 34, that was Kelly Smith.
Here comes Marley. He's the one that went down before the first corner.
Ripple, number 324. Out of Crown Point, Indiana, as we pick up our leader once again. This guy just looks too strong for this field. And he is serious when he says he believes having to ride a 125s to go through the process of his Supercross career here in America, he's actually having to take a step backwards because he's run 250s all of his life in Australia. They have no professional class in the 125s in Australia.
Well, he wants to race against the best guys, and he already proved that he can run with them by riding a few of the 120 or the 250 West Coast races, finishing up in the top 5 there. A serious contender in that class. So he had to step back. I don't think he means it condescending towards his competition. It's just he really wants to ride a 250.
A great battle for second place underway. Davey, can you see it?
Well, I can. That's Buddy Antunez. He's got Larry Ward right on it. But I want to talk about Chad Reed for 1 second. You guys, yesterday he got in behind Ricky Carmichael in a 250 practice. Now Reed is riding a YZ 250 up 4-stroke, which is legal for the 125 class. But honest to goodness, I think this guy could get top 5 in the 250 class on that bike he's riding tonight.
Well, Reed certainly proved he could do well in the 250s because he started out west, you might recall, David Bailey, with a 6th, a 5th, and an 8th before that shoulder injury in practice, and he decided to lay off and get ready for this 125 season.
Yeah, so we're looking at a guy who looks flawless so far in this 125 East, who's had problems. He had a shoulder injury, as you just pointed out, a pulled groin at the last round, which is still not 100%. He hasn't been able to get into the regular routine that he would like to, and it just doesn't show out there. The guy doesn't make mistakes. He takes the right line, the right choice through the option sections, and keeps getting the starts he needs.
1 year in the GPs in Europe, and he placed second in the 250s, the World Championships. Then he decided, hey, I'm ready for America. So he's already lapping a rider right now. That's Keith Johnson, that was mentioned before, number 38.
Smart choice of lines down that last rhythm section where Brown was able to take the lead in heat 1. He stayed in the middle of the straightaway till the very end to avoid all the ruts that are starting to develop.
This has got to set up some great thoughts, some great fantasies, as we've got James Stewart. We hope he comes up to the booth during the 125 main event. We're hoping he can. Here's Buddy Antunez coming through the whoops, having a little bit of trouble. Larry Ward, though, quite a ways behind him. But back to the topic. James Stewart versus Chad Reed, a 16-year-old versus this kid from Australia. That's going to be a great one in that East-West Dave Coon shootout in Las Vegas. That's May 4th. That's live pay-per-view.
I think a lot of people agree, and I do too, that Stewart may have a little more speed, but it doesn't matter if he's having to come from behind or if he falls down. You can't afford any of those mistakes against Chad Reed.
Reed, Antunez, Ward, Summey is also now in 4th position. Kelly Smith moving up to 6th.
I used to race against Josh Summey's dad. Boy, am I getting old. That's Josh right there leading his pack in the white, number 267.
Robbie Horton cutting to the inside.
Had a chance to take a look at the practice track of Josh Summey. That's where Larry Ward rides. These guys are ready for this week. I think they were going to build their whoops a lot bigger so he could start getting through that section like he can everywhere else on the track.
The yellow tags on the right mean they're in qualifying position. You see Dagner and the rest of the group will have to go to the LCQ if they can't make a move here in the last lap.
You see how much of a difference there is in pace and technique for the whoop sections when you go to the back marker guys. We go back up front to Chad Reed. It all looks pretty easy. I mentioned last week how similar he looks to McGrath. I'll tell you what, you put a number 2 on this guy, and you almost can't tell them apart.
But you know, the young riders of today are coming with much more corner speed. We see a lot more guys hitting the dirt, but the corner speed is much different than the McGrath days, where he was very precise in cutting those corners. The checkers for Chad Reed. Reed now has 2 heat victories in qualifying in the 3 rounds we've had so far. Buddy Antunez in 2nd place. And 184 is Dagner. Dagner in the 10th spot as Chas Reed, no relation to Chad, I believe edged him at the checkered flag for that final qualifying position. Let's check the Suzuki results page and see if he did get that 9th position or not, as it's Chad Reed, Antunez, and Ward, which we would expect. Robbie Horton, a veteran in this class, number 355, don't let it fool you. Summey in 5th. And checking out 6 through 9. Buddy Antunez. It'll be interesting hearing his words of wisdom and a little feature on Buddy when we come back to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. Look at our upcoming events. Some of the most famous domes in the world are coming up next. New Orleans, Houston, the Rams home in St. Louis, and the Pontiac Silverdome. Our Davey Coombs is with our heat winner now, Chad Reed. Davey?
Chad, I got to tell you, you just seem to be getting better and better on that YZ250F.
It seems like, every weekend I go home, I ride during the week, and, just more time on the bike, I get, more comfortable, and, I really enjoy riding that bike. It's a fun bike to ride, and, I'd like to thank Yamaha for giving me a chance to ride that bike, Yamaha of Troy for the great team, Boost Mobiles for, the free phones, everybody for, helping me out.
Good dog.
Thank you.
Our rider of the week from EA Sports is a veteran racer and Arenacross champion. Buddy Antunez has been turning more than a few heads these past 2 weeks as he visited with our Jeff Emmy.
The obvious, Buddy, is you had 5 Arenacross championships in a row, 107 wins. Why come to 125 Supercross?
Well, I I won 5 championships, and Arenacross was great for me. It revived my career, got me a lot of respect with everybody, Suzuki, everything. And as far as an athlete, I just wanted to try something different and try to improve and go after a 125 championship.
What sort of adjustments have you had to make from riding the Arenacross, which is about 500 main events a year, to a 7-race 125 East Coast Supercross?
I made a lot of adjustments. You know, when I first decided to do this deal back in June, I knew it was going to take a lot of dedication and more out of me than I've put in probably my whole career to make the jump back to Supercross and do it right. So I worked on a lot of things. You know, I had to work on my whoop speed, my turn speed, my endurance. You know, we run a lot longer here in Supercross and Arenacross. You know, I've worked on all aspects: speed work, endurance, skills. I try to readjust my whole program.
I've seen a huge difference in your maturity, your training, your dedication to racing as your job, your sport. The work that you put into it is night and day difference.
Back when I had my daughter back in '95, I realized that, God, I got another mouth to feed, and I got to be focused at this. This is a real deal. This is how I make my living. This is what I know. I think the older you get, the easier it is to focus on finer things, being fit, being ready to do your job on the weekend, and that leads to having fun on motorcycles.
Our Honda close-up today involves several riders in a puzzling question. After last week's all-international podium, hey, just where have the Americans been?
There's a lot of foreigners doing really well this year, and I think most of that is the fact that they've all been either training in America, doing races, or, you know, they've moved over here and racing. So it's not just an American championship anymore. It's more like a world championship out there.
For a lot of years now, I think everyone's kind of looked at, you know, American Supercross as, you know, as like the championship to be in or whatever, as far as Supercross goes. And maybe it's just a lot of them guys are starting to practice and want to come here and you know, and race for this title.
You know, it just shows that the internationals that really want to, you know, be good, and America's the place to, you know, to show your skills, because, you know, it's the toughest country to get into, and the riders are, you know, it just shows that everyone's here.
I think everyone's just really pumped to come over here and ride U.S. Supercross Series. Everyone's really excited, and I think they're putting in 110% effort.
Take a lap now to see what it looks like on board with Ryan Clark.
Running all the way down the inside. You see the pack come in from the outside. It's easy to catch one of those guys' back tires and high side if you're not careful. All the way through the rhythm section on the inside. You can see he didn't get the best start, but he came out in good shape just because he was able to let everybody kind of go wide and take advantage of that inside line he had. Different timing through here. He picks up another rider. So we're in third. We're looking good. Mike Brown right up ahead of us. Ryan jumps up onto that plateau. Little double here before the triple. Doesn't triple it. Brown didn't triple it. I don't think Clark felt comfortable with tripling it. So look what happens. He gets the block pass. Looks like he gets the spot back. But those whoops, there's no way to show how hard those are in person. One more rhythm section before they cross the starting line. They'll get the signal board from the mechanics right there on the right side. Try to read that. Big double jump over the finish line and back around, do it all over again.
Unfortunately, all that work and Ryan didn't make the main event. 69,475 fans want to know, will the mate from down under prevail? Welcome back to a packed Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia, everyone. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Combs. And join John Kernan for the fastest half hour in television. It's RPM tonight, weeknights at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Let's take a look at the Nissan last chance qualifier results. Adams and Andrich get their first main event try of the year. Mertens and Curry, it'll be their second out of the 3 races. Joining us in the booth for our 125 race here in the Eastern Division is the 125 West points leader, the very dynamic 16-year-old. I haven't said that much about 16-year-olds, David Bailey. But joining us is, of course, James Stewart. James, congratulations on the start of your professional career.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I mean, so far, it's been going pretty good. I had a little bobble in that last race, but before that, it was going good.
Checking out the highlights, it was a rather interesting start, as we will see here in the first round.
Yeah, the first round, I was a little over anxious right there. In San Diego, when I came across the finish line, I wanted to cry. Anaheim 3, I think I set a record right here from getting the whole shot to going last the quickest. But I rode good that race. I came up to second, felt good. Here in Phoenix, I had a little bobble right here, sliding out, but I just got up and got my composure back and just did that over the finish line.
And really, the last race was a tough one for you.
Yeah, I got tangled up here with Danny Smith, and see that kid looking back and get you in this kind of trouble right here. And it's kind of my fault. I got up and I had my chest protector, my handlebar stuck in my chest protector, and I was trying to get it out, but I was happy though.
He's going to stay with us on the entire race and get his opinions of the 125 East as we take a look at the starting lineup. Chad Reed looking for his third straight in a row. Michael Brown, he got a second in the opener. Buddy Antunez, he wants to make his mark in Supercross. Boniface, well, he's been awesome lately. Larry Ward, he needs a win to get back in things, and so does Grant Langston if he hopes to get back into the title chase. Jeff Gibson, he's quite a story. This is the first half of his third consecutive try at making both the 125 and 250 mains. An Ironman performance, James Stewart.
Yeah, I remember watching Jeff in the Arenacross, and he was going really fast on that. And it's cool to see Buddy Antunez and him and all the Arenacross boys coming out and trying to do Supercross.
Well, we got a lot of old guys in here. 37-year-old at the end of the year. Dowd, Brown 29, Antunez 29 in April, Ward 32 in August, I believe. Do you like racing against the older guys, or would you like to keep it an entry class?
No, I like racing against the older guys. I mean, I used to look up to those guys. I mean, watching them coming up through the racing with Jeff Attachments and all those. And I mean, it's an honor to get to race them.
Right now, John Dowd shaking his head, going through the nervousness that one goes through at the gate. What are you thinking about right now, James?
Trying to get through the first corner.
32nd board is up. Our main event from Atlanta, Georgia is about set to get underway as we look at Buddy Antunez and the rest of the crew. The Blimpie Suzuki bike, number 100. Number 16 is John Dowd. 34, Kelly Smith. You see him there on the Yamaha. We're set to go from Atlanta, Georgia, the 125 main. Whoa, 34, Kelly Smith. And turning in the first turn, including Grant Langston. Langston is down, and he is third to last.
That sucks for Grant Langston. He's riding really good in practice.
A great move once again by Chad Reed. He was actually behind all that mess in the first corner. Played his cards right, came out in good shape. He's still in contention to win here.
Robbie Horton in third. Look out for Larry Ward. He's in good position as Kelly Smith is our leader. Kelly has not won a 125 Supercross yet. He led St. Louis a few years ago to the last lap and went down with Fonseca.
See, Chad Reed gets bumped all around in the middle right there, so he just decided to lay up. Watch Langston. Goes down, catches the back end of Brown, and Chad Reed rides right around all of it.
Kelly Smith, Robbie Horton, Larry Ward, Michael Brown, Steve Boniface, John Dowd, Chad Reed. Reed in seventh.
Langston working his way up pretty good, but the win here is, unless he pulls off something amazing, it's not within his grasp. Great opportunity for Kelly Smith. Larry Ward just blew a chance. He was up in there. They let Mike Brown get around him.
Chad Reed's making his way up, and he's looking really good.
I kind of expected Mike Brown to be real aggressive here tonight.
Yeah, it's time for a breakthrough win for Mike Brown. He's been rallying really good in practice, and I think tonight might be his night.
How about Robbie Horton? 355. He's been around a long time.
Yeah, Robbie Horton was another rider I used to look up in the amateur division, and he's doing good here.
You see Chad Reed at the tail end of this train. He's the caboose right now. I have a feeling we're going to see some block passes, some aggressive stuff going on. If any of these guys knock each other down, that's just left riders he's got to pass. He's going to be smart back there and let these laps Wind down, get around the halfway point, and then really
Here's the battle for second place, David. Number 3, Mike Brown moves into second place on Robbie Horton, number 355.
I think this race is going to come down to who's in the greatest shape here.
Absolutely. All these ruts, all these rhythm sections really take it out of you, especially this loop section. And I think the mechanics are probably going to let Chad Reed know, hey, you better start making your move before Brown gets too far out front.
Check out your favorite rider. There's Langston, number 111.
Langston has made his way up pretty good here.
Two guys that should be up front, Schnell and Buckaloo.
Yeah, another bad luck rider on that one is Schnell, number 33. Just underway from Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, Kelly Smith's been out front before, but I don't think to this point he's been that nervous, but he's going to start getting some pressure now. Probably have to start thinking a lot more about what Mike Brown's doing instead of what was carrying him to a little bit of a lead in the first few laps.
Mike Brown is looking to get back into that championship hunt after a fourth-place ride in Minnesota. He finds himself down by 10 points to Chad Reed, so he really needs to break the Australians' win streak. Here comes Brown. Look out, Kelly Smith.
Well, the longer it takes Brown to get around Smith, the better for Chad Reed, who's won the first 2 rounds. He can keep that streak alive here as long as Brown doesn't check out. But right now, Kelly Smith is doing a beautiful job riding his own race, not letting Brown get to him.
Chad Reed made his way up in the 4th place, so it's going to come down to a really good battle.
Mike Brown to the inside, rubs him a little bit.
Same way he went to the lead in his heat race, the same place. He had to be close enough, and for the last 2 laps, he had messed up that rhythm section and didn't get in there close enough.
And so Kelly Smith tries to hold on to second place with Boniface right behind him, number 36. Kelly Smith, kind of a contradiction in performance. Round 1, 125 East. He gets the whole shot, leads 2 laps, then finishes 14th. In round 2, he has to go all the way to the LCQ to make the main, and then finished in 6th.
It's a smart move by Mike Brown.
Great block passing. Wasn't the brightest thing by Smith to leave the door open that wide, but he had a little bit more of a gap in those laps before it. Maybe thought he had enough room.
Our third member in the booth right now is James Stewart, who is leading the 125 West points. If it came down to Las Vegas, live pay-per-view on May 4th, James Stewart versus Chad Reed and Mike Brown, how would you like that?
I would like to come out first. Those guys are going to be tough, and it's going to be really good, and it's going to be hard to do it. But I think I got the speed and the stamina to go the distance.
I liked your reaction when I told you that your title performance is yours to lose in the West.
I don't like those words, but I just got to keep it up on 2 wheels.
Boniface now makes the move for second on Kelly Smith. And not only that, but Chad Reed is on the move. Look out, Reed. Reed and Boniface by the bar. Reed on the inside has to deal with some lappers.
Reed just muscled his way in there and forced Boniface to his right a little bit. He had to, otherwise he'd have had to let off for those lap riders that were pretty close to his line. So now, all he's got to do is get around Smith.
Oh, back and forth we go. This is great racing. Kelly Smith, Boniface 36, and then Chad Reed trying to make it 3 straight wins in a row here on the 125 East. Whoa!
Looked
Kelly
like
Smith
Chad.
doing a little slack.
Looked like Chad had got it done and broken free, and looked like he had it through the whoop section there again, but he keeps messing up at the last 4. That's killing him.
Looks like this track is kind of hard to pass on. You have to do some really good block passing, and we're seeing it tonight.
Your style of riding, James Stewart, you go down a lot, but you're so fast, and especially your corner speed. Is that the difference in the young riders today, corner speed as opposed to the stylist moves of McGrath?
Yeah, I mean, I do my homework during the week, and I watch all these guys, and I study off of them. And my corner speed has been really good, and right there, Chad Reed made the pass home.
Chad Reed finally gets by Boniface. Can he hold the position? Can he take his 3rd straight victory with Boniface and Brown? We'll be coming back to Atlanta, Georgia, as this race unwinds. The wild start of the 125 East, and we'll be back with the finish. We're back in Atlanta, Georgia. Michael Brown is the leader, but Chad Reed is in second place with Boniface in third and Kelly Smith in fourth. Larry Ward is in fifth. Grant Langston now in sixth. Buddy Antunez in seventh, and Dowd in a Jesseman ninth. Jeff Gibson has moved up to 10th.
Well, Brown was enjoying about a 4-second lead almost at one point. Now that's shaved down to just a little over 3. Chad Reed is starting to close the gap. Last time that Brown went by over the triple, he looked at Reed coming the other way. So he's got his signal area, and he doesn't trust that. He's starting to race behind him right now, and he's racing not to lose. That's the loser's approach.
James, he's got to know that he has to win this race against Reed to get back in the hunt.
Yeah, I think if Chad Reed wins this race, it's going to be hard to beat him. And he got a lot of confidence coming in this race, and we're going to see what it turns out.
You see how close he's starting to get now. The best thing Brown,
plenty of time.
Yeah, the best thing Brown could do, and his mechanic giving him the signals, race the track. Stay loose and race the track. You never know what could happen.
Mike Brown is starting to make a lot of mistakes, but I think the track has been worn down, and it's getting hard to get it.
Brown, a 3-time Supercross winner in 125s at Charlotte, Cleveland in 1995, and Pontiac way back in 94.
Look how far Langston has climbed up through the field. This was the battle, Boniface and Smith for a while for the lead, then for second. Langston went down in the first corner, and he's caught him. That tells you how fast he's going out on the track. Might be the fastest guy out there. He's been matching the lap times to Reed.
Oh, Langston goes down in a dangerous position.
Grant was really coming up, and he's doing a really good job.
Hand it to the AMA guy out there, protecting Grant Langston from those riders that could have their heads down right about that point.
Boy, what a tough season. It didn't end well for him last year in the outdoors. Back up front, though, we got a battle.
A great battle going on. Mike Brown with, guess who? Chad Reed right on his rear tail.
I don't think the riders even look at the signal board at that point. And if you're Brown's mechanic, you really don't want to put anything on there that you don't want Reed to see, because he can look at it. That's the section where Grant Langston went down. You see him still sitting there, so he's out. That's 2 races with no points. Forget about the title now.
Here's Reed to the inside. A nice clean black pass. Chad Reed is on his way to his 3rd straight victory here in the 125 East. In front of the largest Atlanta crowd ever, 69,471.
Now Reed, all he has to do is be smart and keep that lead.
As we look at Chad Reed's mechanic, let's check out the reader board. That's Larry Alexander for Boost Mobile Yamaha of Troy, number 103. Chad Reed has taken over this race. Less than 4 laps to go. Can he hang on, or will Brown come back as Langston flies through the air?
The fun starts here.
Back in Atlanta, Georgia, Chad Reed leading the 125 East, looking for his 3rd consecutive victory. Joining us in the booth, James Stewart, the 125 West Points leader. What do you think of this guy, Chad Reed?
He's going to be good. I can't wait to race him in the Vegas shootout, but it's going to be a good battle.
You guys are both going to get a lot better by then, too. I would imagine you're going to be quite a bit faster and in better shape. So will Chad. You think you guys can just run away from the field?
I'm hoping, but I'm sorry to hear Grant Langston fell, but he's going to be up there, and Mike Brown's going to be good by then. But it's going to be a really good race out there.
There's always something interesting about that shootout in Vegas. Remember the year Pastrana did not have his best year. His first year 125s, came back and won in Las Vegas. It's a great stage.
Yeah, the last couple of years, the champions haven't won, so I'm going to try to break that this year.
Yeah, you know, it looked like Brown got out of the way so well for the pass that Reed put on him. Almost looked like he just knew it and expected that was going to happen. And since the pass, he's lost time. He's been looking over his shoulder to see where Boniface is. So Brown is just trying to survive out there. I think he's riding a little bit tight right now, or it would seem so by the way he's riding and looking around behind him.
Chad Reed came into this race leading 18 of the previous laps. That'd be 18 of the 30 previous laps. He gets the board to the mechanic and a thumbs up, and why not? He's pulling away.
Yeah, we don't know what's wrong with Mike Brown. He might be a little tired, or his bike, he might have a couple bike problems, so we don't know, but I guess we'll find that out after the race.
Chad Reed still limping with that groin injury and still winning. Yellow flag is out.
You can see the ruts, the line choice these guys have to make out there. They really have to slow down just a little bit in order to still be able to jump all the obstacles. So the pace comes down quite a bit, but the safety goes up as a result of taking their time.
The yellow flag is out for Hatzel, Tyson Hatzel from Florida on the Yamaha, who went down, and the leaders got by cleanly. Chad Reed now just cruising along. Now it goes through your head, James, when you got this good lead. Not far away from victory.
Number 1.
Checkered flag. Chad Reed, 3 for 3 in his American debut.
What a good ride by Chad Reed. He came up from the back, and lately he's been getting pretty good starts. But
he just proved himself. He can come from behind and start up front.
Boniface back on the podium for his second straight turn, and by golly, I think you got a new career, James, up here in the booth.
Yeah, well, hopefully when I get done racing, I want to do this. I want to come up here and get to talk to you guys. I just want to thank you for having me up here. And
Racer X cover boy, too.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of magazines lately, and I can't thank them enough. It's always my dream.
The sportsmanship of Chad Reed and Mike Brown. The Suzuki results of our main event here on the 125s tonight as Reed takes number 3 in a row. Brown back on the podium. Boniface on the podium for the second straight time. A good run by Kelly Smith, his best finish of the year. Buddy Antunez in the top 5. Ward, Dowd, the over 30 crew, down a little bit.
Langston all the way back in 16th, so he can forget about the championship now. Only thing he can do to save the season is try to win that shootout in Vegas and repeat almost what he had going in the Nationals last year and win that championship, but this one's gone.
Yeah, it seemed like Grant was riding really good tonight, and it was a bummer that he fell, but...
Do you think that 4-stroke's going to be a big advantage to have to run against, though?
I don't know. I think we're all equal. It comes down to the riding ability, and all the bikes are good, and so it comes down to skills.
Let's go to Davey down on the podium. Davey?
Guys, I'm down here with our 3 races in a row winner, Chad Reed. Chad, that was a tough one. You came from way behind that time to run down Mike Brown.
That was a great race. The start was terrible. When I was lined up on the line, I just didn't feel 100% confident, and everybody went down, and I didn't even know how I stayed up, but I just tried riding a smart race, and I could see Mike there. He wasn't getting away too much, so I kind of just sat there. The 125 guys, they scare me. They're not afraid to put the wheel in, so I just rode a smart race, and I'm happy to take it again. This Yamaha 250F is a great bike, and prepared great by Zach, the team, mobiles, everybody.
Real good ride tonight, Chad. Congratulations.
Thanks, David.
Well, our congratulations to Chad Reed, as well as our congratulations for James Stewart here in the booth. I know it's got to be antsy watching races like that and having to sit and look at it and not be on the track.
Yeah, definitely. I want to be out there racing, but it's a good feeling to come down from driving up from Florida to come watch my competition.
Well, we keep talking about this Chad Reed, James Stewart shootout in Vegas. What is it really? Have you given it that much thought? What's it going to take for you to get that race, and how important is it? Because the Nationals start the very next week.
Yeah, it's really important, but first I want to get my 125 West Coast Championship down, and I think it's going to come down to who gets the greatest start and who stays on 2 wheels.
Well, it'll be interesting, too, the outdoor season when both regions are together on the outdoors. James, thanks again for being with us. We'll be back with more information flying your way through the air in Supercross action as Chad Reed once again victors over the 125 8th field. EA Sports Supercross has been brought to you by Suzuki, the reigning AMA 125 Eastern Region Supercross and Arenacross champion. Speed Stick, power of nature for protection that smells good. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Taking a look at the Suzuki results page at the beginning of our show, we asked if the Americans could step it up. Well, they didn't make the top step, and Reed continued to dominate David Bailey.
This guy is impressive, and in the first round, he didn't get a great start, but a little bit better than what he had here tonight. Then last week, he started up front, but tonight, coming from as far behind as he did and riding as patient as he did, that guy is going to be tough to beat.
The big thing, number 111 Langston crashes out of any chance of a title.
Well, I kind of felt like his season was going to go downhill after that first round, because that was a poor decision on his part in the heat of the moment there, not to get back into that event. He put the pressure on himself to have to go out and ride a little bit outside his comfort zone, and tonight he paid that price.
Davey is with our Mike Brown.
Well, Mike, for 2/3 of that race, it looked like you had Chad Reed's number.
I did. I got a little pumped up, as all usual, and you know, I just got used to running up there that long, you know. Same as the first race, I got out there and got going and got a bit of arm pump. I think I've got the speed. I just got to get my arms used to it, you know. It's just different out there.
You've been consistent so far in the series, 4th or better every time, but how do you make that last step up to the winner's circle?
I don't know. I can't train any harder, you know. I'm riding hard and practicing with Ricky every day, and it's working there. I think just running in the front, more being up there every lap, you know, than the rest of the year, and I'll just get more used to it.
Still a nice ride.
Yeah, thanks, Davey.
The Suzuki points in the 125 East. Chad Reed by 13 over Mike Brown. One question we asked David earlier, is Boniface for real? He proved it.
He is, and he's probably wondering, man, why the heck did I let Langston by at the last round? That was a couple of points right there that could have helped him in his title run.
Kelly Smith, John Dowd in 7th. Gebson in 9th. The Ironman, who makes both the 125 and 250 main events for the 3rd consecutive night. Let's go back to Davey.
Well, Steve, for the 2nd week in a row, you're on the podium. Good job.
Yeah, thank you very much. Last week I finished already 3rd, and this week I didn't feel very good on this track, but it's not too bad.
Is your confidence getting higher every week?
Yeah, that's right, because I had not the same start as last week, a little bit worse, so I make some good move, and everything is all right, even if I didn't feel really good on this track, but I think next race I can maybe battle for the win.
Good job tonight.